And there we go. Yeah, I was trying to get this little guy to settle down. He was up getting rubs. But he finally came over here and laid down. So, he's not like Allie. He doesn't have to be right in the camera. Anyway, we're going to work on this. Getting the road wheels on, doing some track work. See what else we can get to. See what other trouble we can cause, right? That's alright. We're doing the dual stream on YouTube and Twitch, so... whichever one works better for your work. Well, whichever one works better for your phone then, really. I started wanting to work on the Defiant, but I really didn't feel like dealing with trying to connect circuits live today. I'll do that tonight later when I can take my time. And I know Aries is on site today. Probably on his way home by now, or close to it. Why do I hear Mittens sneezing? Yeah, he's sent me a couple messages today, but he's been kind of off-grid. But that's why. He's having trouble sleeping again, too, which is concerning. Yeah, Mittens is having a hacking fest. So after today, my next day off won't be until Thursday next week. So that'll be my next planned stream. Unless I get the time and availability to do a shorter one before I go into work one day. But for right now... If you get an external microphone like the one I use, you can set your noise gate to cut out sounds at a certain distance. Like right now, Jen could come in and say something from the other side of the room and you wouldn't hear it. It's one that Solway actually gifted to me. It's a Samson brand. I'll get you the information later if I can. It's a Samson Q2U microphone. So the letter Q as in quartz, 2 and then uncle. I don't want to do any weathering until I get the tracks built, because I don't want to risk messing up the effects. But they're snapped together, they should go pretty quick. Even comes with a jig. So it's kind of cool how they've made the track assemblies on this. You can basically cut here. It's supposed to work this way anyway. Trim these. I have to remember which way I was doing this so I get them all the right way up. Okay. Now these should all be spaced to fit within the jig, like that. So you get those first. I already kind of messed these up. Then you take your bottom pads. Itchy. Oh no, they're calling again. Bye. Yeah. Should all come in one box. Oh yeah, that's right. These go here. No. These go here. They straddle the little line, the pattern in the track. And Ares knows how to do the noise gate stuff. There's some things you gotta go through and adjust in your advanced settings on OBS and stuff to do it. But it works. Freaking cat fur. Like I said, Frank was up here giving me cuddles before I started the stream. He might come back up. He's been weird today. Some days he's all in my face wanting attention, other days he's all just okay. The tracks are snapped together as well, so it makes it a bit easier. Yeah, I'd like to get a third camera back in the mix. I still have the one that Aries sent me that was having difficulty with my setup for some reason. I want to see if maybe one of the updates changed. Well, Frankie's only a year old, but he's also part Savannah, which means he's like stupid playful. Come on. Get in your slot. Darn it. He's a good cat, though. He's not like Allie, where he feels he has to be in the middle of the table. But he's just there, you know? Part of me thinks it'd almost be quicker to do this link by link. Because the other parts of the pad aren't spaced out well enough. So you do have to kind of do this step one at a time. But yeah, Frankie's the little kitten that we had last year back in May. And what you saw when the stream started was him now. He's gotten big. Let's see if I can get him back over here for a little appearance. Frankie! Here, boy! He's not... There's different grades of Savannah. Some are like just your regular old tiger stripe cat size, but with a more stark pattern, where he's actually large for you know, so he's like an F3 if he continues on this rate. But he's definitely got the broader nose and the more defined markings. And he's extremely lanky. But yeah, a straight up Savannah is almost as big as a smaller boxer. Right. And F4s are almost indistinguishable from regular house cats. Yeah, we're wondering who lost him because, yeah, my son's friend just showed up with him as a kitten one day. You're cat people? Yeah, we don't need more. Oh God, the playfulness would destroy the house alone. the jig one step. There's going to be leftover track pieces, but you'll have to glue those in. No, we've already got too many cats, dude. Way more than we wanted, and we're waiting on Arnie to go still. It's one of those things where we're actually upset somebody found him because we could have sworn he was going off to die. $17. Because he was gone long enough, we'd already come to terms with it, and all of a sudden somebody found him. We're like, what? God damn it. And 17's old for just your standard domestic short hair, too. Hey, Alex. Typically, your standard short hair doesn't really live more than 14. He's really starting to show his advanced age, though. He was looking a little shaky last night when he was on the counter trying to get his dinner. So, honestly, probably not too long now, sometime before Christmas. Hey, Duster. How goes it? Can't use my tools in here anyway. Nice. I still keep seeing that trumpeter hind in 35th scale. I want to do the alien hind. But it's $100 and I've got enough big models as it is. I need to finish up a lot more before I buy that. I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Like I was saying before, my next day off won't be till next Thursday. About to do a 6-day straight blow, which I really don't like. But it is what it is. I think I'd be able to do it. Yeah, I've kind of given up on doing that, especially with a lot of the more modern kits, because to me that's wasted money for a lot of things you may not actually see in the end. If it's something that's just balls crazy wrong, like their SU-27 and 32nd scale, that's one thing. But if there's nothing inherently wrong to begin with, you know? Sounds like you may have got the Edward kit. No, just I've learned, especially in recent years and with my model club and stuff like that, that it's okay to let the little things slide. You know? There's people there that are so stuck on the accuracy that they never finish anything. They're just constantly always work in progress, and it's like, okay, you do you, but meanwhile, I'm gonna go finish this. Like, we had one guy who was so amazingly hung up on doing the piano hinges on a BF-109 engine cowl, in scale, functional, that it was really, like, kind of depressing, because he never honestly finished anything. I was down at a hobby shop in Salt Lake one day, and he was there with his wife, and he's one of those only builds German type people, right? Only builds World War II German. And he said something, you know, offhanded about the models I was buying, and his wife was there with him. And I just responded by saying, yeah, just at least everything I have doesn't have to have a swastika attached to it. And his wife just started snorting and laughing. I felt vindicated. Nothing against World War II German, but it's definitely an oversaturated market. They're still doing the shows at Fairford? That's good. I think they were on hiatus when I lived over there. I don't remember ever seeing anything. Yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way on this run of track. There's 4 sprues for the track pieces, and there will, like I said, there will be leftovers, but I know there's basically 2 sprues per side. enjoy it. I know the Academy kit's not terrible out of the box, but if it's their older one, it might be from their old cloning days when they were copying Hasegawa's stuff. I know their 72nd scale A10 is a basic copy of the Hasegawa one. Yeah. Oh, if it's the Academy 48, it could be one of their newer ones. Remember, back in the 90s is when they started pumping out their own aircraft. One of the big deals about their kits at the time, they were the first company to do a 48 scale 15 with push rods on the exhaust that were separate. For the open turkey feathers. But we're talking like early 90s here. Yeah. Wiesel's a fun little vehicle. And I'll be making some scale camo netting for it too. I've heard that's an okay kit. Academy actually does a better one. The Bronco is a little over-engineered. If I keep feeling the Bundeswehr kick, I might work on my Wiesel. Or not my Wiesel, my Fennec. Hey Aries, glad you're home. Doing all right. But yeah, I've got a Fennec and a SLT 56 transporter. I might do something with. Yeah, the AFV Club Wiesel, holy crap. And the tracks are too tight. Autocorrect actually made it funnier. Oh, hopefully you'll get exhausted enough that you'll just conk out really well. I woke up to Jen screaming in her sleep the other night. That was really fucking crazy. Just keep trying. Eventually you'll fall asleep. Have you had a lot of thunderstorms or anything through? I know when the weather goes a bit weird, I tend to get a bit more, like, anxious active, for lack of a better description. These tracks are great. There's enough extra that you can actually set the tension properly. But, yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way. Yeah, we're supposed to have a little rain here today, but we're not. It just got nice and bright and sunny. And if I keep checking my phone, it's because I'm waiting for some resin to get delivered. I don't want it sitting out front of the door. I want to finish that large scale, the girl riding on the robot. Oh, you mean about hell freezing over? I'm not worried about that. Hit you with a like a toy duck, right? It didn't actually do its job as a retriever and somehow managed to get a fucking duck. Okay. At least they're in good spirits. I think she's just trying to help you. Frankie was like that the other day with me too. I can't activate the facehugger from Restream. There it goes. Excuse me. Let's see, we got Egypt freezing, we got Yellowstone erupting on people. We had another earthquake here yesterday. Plane crash as well by a high school near me. Fires everywhere. Just sounds like a normal day on planet Earth, really. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, the tracks on this thing are easy. There's an assembly jig, they're snapped together. The hardest part is connecting the end links of the others. And there's quite a few spare pieces. If you follow the directions exactly, you'll have too many links per side, they'll sag too much. Since this has a active tensioner on it, and their live track, you want no sag on them. And unfortunately, Takom decided that they were only going to model the base version, not the A1 or A2, because I would have liked to also have the thermal sights on the turret. Looks kind of empty without them. They could easily be retrofit if somebody out there does files for them. I could print them out and throw them on. I'm not up to scratch building anything right now. Now the Academy Wiesel I think is really worth it is the tow version, because it actually comes with a partial interior for the back area. Not the Academy, the AFE Club. I still have to paint the feed chutes. Oh, excuse me. I still have to paint the feed chutes and the ammo. And then once I get everything else done, I'll be able to install the optics. It's movable. Oh, excuse me. Well, the AFV Club is actually, their track is too tight, too short. You can actually wind up snapping your axles if you're not careful. Oh, damn it, Bobby. that over. I use the plastic one. It's thick enough, you don't have to worry about anything. It's got enough of the details molded in the front here. With a little bit of burnishing, you'll be able to make that stand out. Like I said, I haven't done any weathering or any other detailing on it yet. I don't like to spend money on aftermarket if I don't have to. Excuse me again. I must stop that before Ares comes over here and beats me for yawning too much. Oh wait, maybe I should keep yawning too much. It'll make him fall asleep. Oh yeah, the Takom Wiesel. There's probably plenty of people out there who have done reviews of it, and they spew out the usual, would be much better with this accessory or that. Compared to the reference pictures I have, it's fine. The only thing I would have liked, since the hatches are so large, interior. Put a bit of a driver's compartment and put a bit of the turret interior and the floor under it. That's the only improvement I think could have been done to this, is just a little bit more on the inside, considering how tiny of a kit it is. I can only hope that the company that took the 16 scale Stuart and made it into an RC tank decides to do that with the Wiesel too. Need a couple of these going with my Leopard 1, 2, and 2A7. I know you can fit the small Tamiya twin gearbox in this. I wanted to get their RC Centurion in 25th scale so I could just take the guts and put it in it, but I couldn't find it cheap enough. We're gonna go for a different sound. Something with a bit more energy, I hope. As long as you don't you don't use too much glue, the track should remain workable. I gotta start checking the length here because we're getting close on our number of pin sections. We're probably gonna be getting really close on the length. Typically I wouldn't stream this, but I think it, like you were saying, it helps to show the process. Normally I just put on a movie and watch that while I just do this mind-numbing task. We may not be on too long today regardless. Wife's out of town. There's things I need to do around the house still. And being it's my only day off until next Thursday, well, yeah. Can't exactly schlub around. Oh, I know a guy who actually runs a tank museum over there and does it. For it to be street legal, even in continental Europe, rubberized tracks, if available, so something like a Bren carrier doesn't require them, you can fit Chieftain track onto a T-55. Yeah, rubberized tracks, headlights, taillights, and headlights, taillights, turn signals, and brake lights, which all modern tanks have. And if it's got a gun, you just need a shotgun license. Because even if it's decommissioned, the tube could still be loaded with something. But this guy also owns the tanks from GoldenEye. He does a lot of work for the History Channel. He participates in the Normandy commemorative celebrations every year. So restores his own Bren carriers. He's got like 5 of the things. Got a couple Scorpions. Even in the U.S., if you really wanted to, you could daily a tank if you could afford it. There's no reason you couldn't. Because I would love to get a Wiesel and do that. Kim Anderson, thank you for the raid. How you doing? We're doing some restream between here and YouTube. Hey Blomberg, how you doing? Working on a Wiesel by Takom in 16th scale. Doing the tracks on it. We're about done with one side. These. Well, if you remember that movie Reign of Fire with the dragons, Christian Bale was in it. The chieftain that was driven up to the gate, he owns that. And a bunch of other things. What were you working on your stream? My leg. I think I had to throw one of mine out because a cat knocked it down. It was the 32nd scale Revell Pro Modeler, which is the Hasegawa one repackaged. This section might be too long. Maybe. We'll see. If it is, I can always pop the links off. Did you add anything to it, or was it out of the box? This is box stock. I'm adding a couple figures to it. I still have to finish doing the speckles on the camo, but it's getting close. And autofocus isn't working with me. Alright, you have a good day. Thanks again for the raid. I also read this morning that Stalker Heart of Chernobyl is pushed back to November now. More bug fixes. It was originally due out September 5th. You know what? If it makes the game as stable as Call of Pripyat was on release and not as buggy as Clear Sky, I'm all for it. Who's dinging me? wife let me know where she is. She has reached Montana. Wasn't that Sam Neill's famous last words in Red October? I would like to have seen Montana. Okay, now before I stick the guide teeth on these, I think I'm gonna pop them and see if I'm a link long or not. I think I am. It's alright, Blumberg. Actually, another one of my viewers is from Denmark, I believe. Alex, he's on the YouTube side. I'm doing restreams, so I'm on both at the same time. Aren't you from Denmark? It's for a 1/16 scale Wiesel, though, so these tracks are quite simple. Yep, so it is a small world. Not really. The tracks on the actual vehicle are about as detailed as this. You've got basically a rubber block with a hole in it that you slide the pins in and put the end connectors on. I mean, I guess you could do it in 1/6 where you actually have to put the retaining bolts and stuff in. I can't lay it on its side or I'll crack the mirrors off. Yeah, like the real world. But I've got to do something. How can I... Fine, I'll risk cracking the mirror. Yep. 2 long by 2 links. But that's actually pretty good. Yep. Alright, so set that aside. We still have to build the other side's tracks. Do what now? Oh, yeah, these. It's the one place Takom could have invested in a little metal in the kit. Instead of giving you metal pins for the pistons on the gun tube, they could have given you metal arms for the mirrors. Oh, we have a marbles with us. Marbles up? Now, this isn't my first rodeo with this vehicle, though. It did. They also designed a new sprocket, which works differently. There's a couple different track options for the 113s now. But I believe the more common track is the one like this. Marbles, are you by my feet? Hi! What are you doing down there? Huh? Come on, kitty cat. Up. I left him room in the chair if he wants to jump up. Aside from the guide teeth, though, these tracks are primarily snapped together, and, as you can see, go together relatively quickly. I can put this together for now. Since I'm not gluing the pads, I can just pop them apart. It'll make painting easier too. That way I don't lose anything for this side. So one side done. I think that's pretty nice though. Yeah, I think that's kind of a mistake. There's always a need for something really small and really fast on the battlefield. I don't care what they say. Especially if it can carry more than 3 people. Like the M113 can. Marmar, come here. Up. Come on, buddy. Come here, kitty. Come on. He's giving me sad boy face. Come on. What? We're gonna have a snack break though. A drink and a Star Crunch. Where'd he go? He walked off. Oh, he's over there on the couch. I did not. If you want some, you gotta go get yourself. So what are you guys' plans for the weekend? Hi. Mine's to work. Actually, what is my schedule? Yeah, there's just some things that work too well. And a speedy little armored box to get your troops into combat is indispensable. That is wet for Texas. Yeah, so tomorrow's 1 to 10, Saturday's 1 to 10. I think next week is going to be a lot of the same. If I have the time or energy, I might try and get a stream in before work, but I can't guarantee it. Come here, big boy. Oh, you're heavy. Oh. Hi, Marmar. How's the marble boy? Yeah, it tried raining here earlier today. Might go out and clean the car before my long work week. There you go. Yep, show the people your good side. Good boy. And he gets down. Alright, now we start on the other side of the tracks. Keep all the spare pieces in here. I try to be, and I would like to be more often, but unfortunately life has decided to give me the big middle finger. But I also had to go talk to the boss yesterday and tell her, hey, look, I need off this perpetual night shift you got me on. Because it's really starting to affect me badly. Actually, that reminds me. Oh, no, I don't have the numbers to really get that yet, though, on YouTube. Darn it. Because don't you need to have a certain amount of viewers and subs and stuff before you can start activating certain features on streams? I forget. They seem to change it every time I blink. Oh, and YouTube's messing around with their adware again. Really slowing down their feeds, and they're trying to get around the ad blockers, which is funny. No, I've been on this shift basically since October, and the main problem is, one, never having Friday and Saturday off no matter what the fuck I do. I have to ask to have any time off with my own fucking family. And two, with my wife working from home, I can't exactly do a lot around the house that's, you know, loud, like cleaning and shit. Not that my house is a pigsty, but it does get in the fucking way. And three, it's always right in the core of the day. So I get home at 10, or I get off at 10. I get home shortly after that. I'm not in bed till 2. Or I'm not asleep till 2 at the earliest. You gotta have that wind down time. So given a full night's sleep, I'm usually waking up between 9 and 10. Which doesn't leave a lot of time before I've got to get ready for work to go to work. So that constant limbo schedule, you know, you're not accomplishing anything. You're just waking up, going to work, coming home, trying to do stuff then, but it's so late at night, can't exactly be cleaning the fucking house then either, because people are trying to sleep because they have a life too. Especially a kid that's in school. But having worked it since October, my friends don't even call to ask me to do anything on any time. So I don't know what they're doing. You know, nobody asked to do anything because my answer for almost a year now has been, oh, sorry, I have to work. So you do that enough, and what happens? People stop asking you. You lose track of who's doing what, when, and where. I don't know where any of the car shows are. I don't know the timing of them. Because I've gotten into the point where it's like, why bother? So, if it doesn't change adequately, I'm going to be on the hunt for a job again. I've already talked it over with the wife. She's just like, make sure you've got one before you drop one. I'm like, I know. But I'm kind of already tired of this. Not much market out there for someone like me. And the older I get, the harder it's going to get too. Plus, with the possibility of moving in, 2 years, 3 years, I really can't be jumping around too much. Yeah. I don't get slammed by people here. Do I wish I was busier here? Yeah. Who wouldn't want something like this to become more full-time? I'm doing what I enjoy. I can set my own hours. Hell, I did it during the lockdowns. I was very consistent about it. The problem is I've had too many downfalls. I think my channel's kind of gotten a name for being inconsistent, so I really can't come back from that. And I'm sorry, my family life and my own survival take precedent right now. But as it is, I can't even manage the mental or physical concentration to stream even for 2 or 3 hours before work when I go into work at 1. Because I'm just waking up, If I have to be in at 1, that means I have to start getting ready at about 12. So that cuts an hour out of my available time as it is. I'm waking up at 9, so I'm still trying to wake up. So that gives me maybe 2 hours right there, tops, on any given day. Unless I miraculously have the energy to get out of bed earlier, which means I would need to get to bed earlier, which then starts to give me other issues in just sleep schedule and all that. It makes it much easier for me to get swept up in what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like not melancholic. What's the word I'm looking for? It would make it too easy for me to just get to a point where I'm not able to sleep, which is worse. Yeah. You are not wrong there. Long gone are the days of having to fill out the flyer from the magazine for the thing you want, mail it out, waiting that week for it to get there, and then waiting an additional 6 to 8 weeks for the processing and mail back, Sometimes even longer. Just feels like I traded one shit situation for another shit situation. Before it was gaslighting and very bad manager. Now it's the other extreme. I have no work-life balance in terms of home life now. That, and on top of that, my wife's had 6 deaths in the family since February. So it's like, wow, if it weren't for fucking bad luck, this family would have no luck at all right now. So she's out of town again, with the rest of her family doing, they're spreading ashes and doing some other family-oriented stuff up in the wild norths of Montana, almost to the Canadian border. Yep. And maybe that's also part of what's feeding into my sense of I just want things to stop for a bit. You know, I just want to put the brakes on, but I'm not able to. But it's also making me think more about spending time with the family and less time with the work, and having to push back to get what I want for that. I'm sure there's probably somebody else out there who's going to watch this. Oh, you're just being lazy, this and that. I'm working 9-10 hour days every day that I work. I'm not slacking off. I just need it to be at the right time of day so I can manage the rest of my life. And if that's being lazy, I'm sorry. At least next week, though, I'll have Thursday and Friday off back to back. Is it good as Saturday and Sunday off? No, but it is 2 days in a row. The thing I don't like is that it's after a 6-day blow of what seems to be 10-hour shifts. They're supposed to be hiring somebody else, but of the 6 people that have been hired since, I want to say January, only 2 are left. One stopped after 1 day, another one stopped after a couple days because they failed their background check. You know? Yeah. I don't mind being the helper, but it just seems like every time I ask for help, I don't get it, you know? And I don't mean like little things, I mean work-related type stuff. Like, hey, I need a change in this or else this. And I think a lot of it's still experience from my last job. You know, you're at some place for 14 years and then they do that to you. It's like, fuck no. You know, it makes you hesitant to ask for help because you don't know how it's going to be perceived. Some of the spare parts. Welcome to whoever else is watching on YouTube. Say hi. Exactly. Hi, Mittens. We have another kitty with us. Here, let me move, and you can come up, okay? Hold on. Here, bud. Hey, Aries. Come on. Good boy. Yeah, we can't get Mittens on camera like we did with Marbles. He does not like being held. He doesn't mind cuddling up and being pet at all, but he just does not like being held. He's got something about his paws being off the ground. But I hope I've been mildly entertaining when I'm not bitching about the lowly circumstances of my personal life. But hopefully when I was talking to the boss, I was heard. And I explained that even my own wife had noticed I was getting a lot more snarky and snappy, and things were not going so well. And that I really needed some more early shifts and some more Saturdays and Sundays possibly sprinkled in. So we'll see. Won't know for another week. Next week's schedule's already been done, so can't exactly beg for a rewrite on that one. But we'll see what happens going forward. Plus another benefit, if I get more... sorry, I got an itchy forehead. If I get more early shifts where I'm off by like 3 or 4, I'll be able to do more daily streams. I'll be on more of a regular morning-night schedule, and I'll be able to take care of shit better, you know? At least that's my thought process on it. That's how it normally works. Because before I'd work a full day and then come home, relax for an hour or so, start streaming. Hopefully that starts happening. Because I've broken the nap trap. You know. The only vice left in my life is big boobed anime girls. I don't smoke anymore. Haven't drank since 2002. Um, yeah. Well, you can be open as long as you're not giving too much away, you know? That, and unlike other people who really worry about doxing too much, I'm not afraid to defend myself either. Not like I expect to have any weird fanatics. The only weird fanatic I've got is Ares. And he is probably the only other person who knows more about me than my own wife. That's why I don't worry too much about that kind of crap. Like, everybody's so worried about it now. You know, even less than 20 years ago, there used to be this big book printed called the phone book that had everybody's name, address, and phone number in it. All you had to do was go to any payphone in the local town, look up that name, and find the person. We very rarely call ourselves or have to memorize phone numbers these days. That's the sad thing. Um, yeah, put it this way: it's not like I'm out there talking about a history of like mental degeneracy in my family or anything stupid like that. I only put out there what is really already known. Like, I won't say exactly where I work, because I know that's how trouble can start, but it's also not difficult for people if they really want to know. They'll find it. You know, it's this day and age. There's no secrecy. Once you put your name and face on the internet, forget it. I do the same, Aries. See if my resin's here. Oh, that's right. You haven't seen what I'm working on next, Alex, as far as the figure front. I'll take a break after I get these glued on and show you. Oh, the resin's here too. So yeah, we'll get these glued on. I'll go up front, get the resin, and come back down and show you what I'm working on. Yeah, I find it funny though when people make a big deal out of the doxing thing that's been going around. Because I have the mindset if somebody really wants to screw with me, um, especially if they feel like entering my house, I'm not stuck in here with them. They're stuck in here with me. Okay, that came apart. Yep. I've got the toe one as well. It's been finished for a while. It's actually one of my YouTube shorts. Oh, Aries, how are you doing on the Falcon? Or have you put it aside while you're trying to get back on track? So, but let me go grab my resin. I'll be right back. Hey, Mitty. You stay there, okay? Show them your thumbs. Yeah, go show them your thumbs. I'll be back. You stay here. I'm back. Sorry, I just felt the discs in my back settle as I sat down. So, what we're working on next will be this character. And she'll be sitting on top of another robot. The whole thing will be over 2 feet tall when it's done. So here's the head of the robot. Looks kind of like a game controller. So if you look in the face cam, there she is. It'll be, yeah, roughly that tall. So close to 3 feet tall when it's done. Gonna put some LEDs in the head, do some other things. I want to do a display base for it where it looks like the robot's walking through like a flooded alleyway of some sort.
Excuse me.
Too many yawns. That reminds me, I still need to figure out how to make Ares. I know it's not hard, but I need to take a minute and make Ares an admin. And done. So Ares now has the banhammer on both channels, so that way if we run into a situation like a couple months ago, we can handle it more readily, because I typically don't have a YouTube or Twitch window open when I'm streaming. I try my best. On the robot, I'm going to be trying a couple new things, though. Like I said, adding LEDs. I've done that before with the LED strip on the travel pod from Star Trek. But this, I'm actually routing them through the internals of the print. So I've got to work around all the internal supports and such. I should be okay, though. But I just got enough resin to finish printing the robot. And maybe print a dumpster in scale, because I want to have a few different things in the scenery. It's definitely going to be post-apocalyptic. And if I get bored with that, I'll either work on Cami or Roppy. Oh, excuse me. Cami's actually about 50% done. I have to go buy a wooden base to mount her to, finish painting. But I think if I do another large-scale figure after Cammy and Roppy and the robot, it might be Korra from Tron Legacy. Oh, it's a great kit. It's really not that hard at all. Like I said, the tracks are snapped together. You don't really have to glue anything except the guide teeth. And it comes with this jig, so you can do it real easily. Excuse me. But it honestly does feel like I have more random engagement on YouTube than I do on Twitch lately. Had a few good new follows, but overall, I think there's more people watching YouTube that can stumble on you. And I'll stand by that. Meanwhile, everybody's got a countdown of how long till I stab myself in the hand with my X-Acto blade as I'm putting these tracks together. So we've only got 2 more sets of track pin links. We're close to done. Yeah, there's, aside from maybe adding the thermals and the new sights that are on the later versions, there's nothing that needs to be added to this. In terms of how it comes out of the box, it is a perfect little example of a first run Wiesel out of the factory. But, yeah, even as far as, like, I know there's an example of a sand one in the Technical Museum. but I don't think they had desert camo applied when they were sent to Afghanistan as part of the ISAF mission. They were all green from what I could tell. Plus you've got Bosnia and Kosovo use. So there's plenty of options as far as where you want it to be in the world. Yeah, my hope is if I can start getting more daytime shifts, though, I can start doing more evening streams, which can start to help to grow things a bit again. I've got, if you go to, obviously you're on YouTube right now, open another window, and then search just Flinker Wiesel. There is a 5-minute video that shows one in training ops in the snow, and I believe that one has a tighter wrap on the Barracuda net, so you see more of the vehicle. That's kind of what I want to do for the display base on this one. Good thing I'm going to have extras of those, because... But I think a display base with like a muddy, rutted road with snow on it. Then the Wiesel covered in Barracuda net. Like light snow drifted onto it. The hard part's figuring out how to do the pine branches in scale. I think I may have that covered though. But when doing model Barracuda net though, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they just buy this, they spray some paint on it and they open it up, but they don't add the underlying net that it's attached to. That makes up half the volume of it, obviously, but it also gives it that finer detail that it needs. And for the net that's under it, I just take gauze, open it up, and then thin out some paint, soak it in it, and then glue it to the backside. So when it's all bundled up, you have this peeking out. You know, after you roll it and put it on the vehicle, you just have this peeking out and it looks like the net. I can show you an example of that on my Leopard 1. Okay, I hear feline sneezing, but I don't see the cat. Hello? Is that Mittens? Come here, boy. That was weird. Okay, go feed your face. What should I do for dinner? Bacon cheeseburgers, maybe? I wish I had some mushrooms. I'd do some mushroom Swiss burgers. Yeah, if anything, I want to at least get the tracks done today. Maybe use tonight as a chance to get myself back into, you know, earlier to bed, you know, no later than midnight before I'm going to sleep. If I can regain the time on that side where I'm getting up at 7 instead of 9 or 10, then I can start focusing on trying to stream earlier in the day again, maybe. For the days that I work that late. I know I keep talking about it. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a different system, too, if I remember right. The stuff with the thermal sheet. That was the one that was like, that you'd Velcro to the hull. Kind of like what the Canadians were using on the A6M. It was still Barracuda systems, but it was a different type. I'm just talking about the raw net itself, like you would just have on exercise and stuff. Part of me wants to do a third Leopard 2 in 16th scale and cover it in that. Just buy some more of that in the desert tone and make the actual bigger pieces that, you know, are attached to the hull. But then my sanity came back to me. Sneezing fits lately, too. Excuse me. And once you get a system or a rhythm down on this stuff, you can throw these tracks together. We've only been doing this for 2 hours, so if you put on a movie... Put on Das Boot or Dr. Zhivago and just start throwing these together. And I don't mean that new series they made for Hulu either. I mean the original Das Boot. But I found a really good way to shape the netting once it's on the model is to actually just use flat varnish. You know, tack glue it in place here and there on the model, and then use flat varnish and then sag it naturally. And the varnish will harden and hold it in place where you put it without looking off, if that makes sense. It'll keep the scale look. I'll show you what I mean in a sec. The varnish will basically give the material a weight that it wouldn't have otherwise. I'd like to be able to finish this soon. That's part of my lack of motivation for a lot of things lately too. I've been really pushing myself to even work on models, to be honest. And you can ask Aries, it's secondary to breathing to me to do this kind of stuff. And I've just been in such a damn slump, it's ridiculous. And I've got a really easy way of doing track. Probably runs counter to what you think you should do, but it works well, considering. Nope, no school glue and isopropyl. But for the track, hold on. You always see people, you know, they paint them black, and then they do the metals, and then they do the dirt, right? That's backwards. Paint them brown. Paint your track brown first. Paint it your earth tone. And then go back, hit up your pad surfaces where they contact the ground or the road with black or whatever color. If it's like a light dusty area, you can use a sandy color. Same thing in here. If it's a metal inner, you can do graphite or something to give it the shininess. Or you can do black here as well. And then you use the graphite on the inside of the teeth. And when you're done, you've got the dirt in the recessed areas where it's supposed to be, the worn off rubber where it's supposed to be, and the shiny metal where it's supposed to be. Fewer steps, less effort, same result. Let me get my leopard real quick. We've only got one more run to do on these. Hi, Frank. Nope, that's Allie. I feel if I get up, there's going to be trouble. Okay. Be right back. And I just knocked my phone down. Everything's tangled. Okay, give me a sec. Alright, I'm back. But here's my 1974 issue Tamiya Leopard 1. But you can see what I mean about using the matte coat to stick it down. It actually lays down on the model that way. It doesn't sit proud of it too much. Because even the real stuff, it's like a vinyl sheet. Hey Bonsai, long time no see. How you doing? But that's using this pre-cut material, a little bit of gauze tinted the right color, and then put on the model. Where can I put this for now? Actually, right there would be good because it might keep Allie off the table. Oh yeah, I moved to a completely different room in the house since the last time you probably saw me. Those are some display cases that I picked up over the years. How have you been? We should be on the last run of track for this side. I'll get the pads put together, save the teeth for last when we figure out exactly how many we'll need. Well, not only what holds it together, but that the material has weight. That's one thing. If you watch a lot of RC tank videos, you see they put the netting on it, and either they just throw it over the model and drive it. Oh, trust me, Bonsai, I know exactly where you are in that. I'm fighting with that myself. Yeah, you haven't been here since I left my job of 14 years and took on a different job. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to be modeling and streaming on my days off. And I still model during the week when I can, but it's gotten harder. You're just tired, you know? but I can completely sympathize with what you're saying, though. I am right there with you. I guess I am lucky that I have a wife that supports my hobbies and interests, as I do hers. You know, I let her do her stuff too. So I don't have somebody saying, "You do this all the time, you shouldn't be doing that," you know. Heck, have I ever shown you guys the Sherman she found for me? She was at a not a hobby shop, a pawn shop, and she saw a 16 scale Sherman on the shelf. Turns out it was a fully functioning Takom M4A376W. She bought it without thinking twice. Well, at least you're on here and hanging out. You're more than welcome to. And it's good to see some of the old names from when I first started still there. Now this should also be the same length short, so I'm not going to finish these last two. If I have to add them, I can. They're easy. Oh, she understands too. She, you know, heck, she went to freaking Bovington with me one day. Took a 3-hour drive from Lakenheath down to the southern end of England just to go see a bunch of tanks in a museum. Fortunately, it was in the off-season, so museum was empty, but we actually liked it that way. We could just take our own time. Didn't have everybody clamoring to see the tiger and all that. Bingo. I just have to take one of my end connectors off. So, Alex, when you get back on yours, when you're doing your runs, you'll have all of these connected. You want to use all but 2 of them. And that does the perfect length for each side. Or 3 of them, sorry. Yeah, we're also dual streaming Bonsai. We're on YouTube and Twitch right now. Unfortunately, the chat's not connected. I think that's a pay feature. So, yeah, plenty of pads left over, plenty of track links left over. No worries. Yeah, just don't do like some of the Singaporean YouTubers seem to do. There's a lot that have taken my YouTube VOD, or not my YouTube VODs, my Twitch VODs, and re-uploaded them as their own YouTube videos. You can see me on them, clear as day. I've even filed copyright claims against them, but they're still up. Yep, she bought me a Sherman, and I was able to paint it up like Thunderbolt 4, I think it was. The one that Crichton Abrams drove into Bastogne. Hi, Mittens. You want to come back up? Come on, up. Yeah, so right now I have 4 Shermans. I've got the original Hanglong version. Or do I have... So no, I've got the Tamiya one. I've got the Hanglong that I converted to an M32. Then I've got the Taigen one that my wife got. And I've got another, yeah, that's our cat with thumbs. Another that I am converting to Oddballs Sherman from Kelly's Heroes. Mittens, why are you so shy, huh? The audience would love you. Come here. Come here, buddy. Oh. I know you don't like being held at all. Oh, come here. Sorry, bud. Yeah. He just likes getting in behind me in the chair and staying there. Mittens, where are you going? Where are you going? Come here. Darn it. Yeah, he's shy as hell. Yeah, for those who haven't been here too long, that's my polydactyl cat. He's got 24 toes. So, alright, so these are done. I want to let them dry. I really don't feel like painting right now. That's the big problem. I just want to assemble stuff. And I'm out of stuff to assemble for right now. So, fully workable track. Let me get my other Wiesel. Just hold on a moment. You don't need to wait to do that or even get the Andes version. Just get on eBay and see if you can find a cheap Tamiya one for the lower hull, and you can buy the Tigan turret. But yeah, here's my tow version. I might make this one, the new one, the 20mm version, a little dirtier. Knock down the intensity a bit. I think I did all right on this. Big model of a very small vehicle. Yeah, it's 16 scale. It's the Takom kit. It's the same manufacturer as this one. Just this is the 20mm armed version. And the fit on these turrets is tight too. Even without the paint, I was having trouble getting it to rotate during construction. But yeah. Well, we got the tracks done. I might take some time to figure out what I want to do next. We've been on for close to 2.5 hours. I think that's good enough for a stream right now. I think, yeah, they've added it to War Thunder and on. I don't know if they've added it to World of Tanks yet, though. But I know it's on War Thunder. When we come back, we'll probably begin doing detail washes, first passes for mud and dirt on the hull. Before we get to anything too heavy with the dirt, though, I want to do the Barracuda net, get that mounted. I need to rust up the exhaust pipe under here before I mount the shield, the heat shroud for that. Oh, I know. Yeah, they just did the tow version and the 20mm version. They haven't done the extended chassis for the Ocelot, the medevac, the command center, or even the radar, which would be nice if they did. It wouldn't be hard. Okay. Yeah, I haven't really played RTS games in a very long time. Next stream with the Wiesel, though, will be starting of weathering, Barracuda net, probably installing the tracks too. And then we'll go from there. But I think we'll just call it a day, stop stream, and everybody can have a good night. I know Alex needs to get to sleep. I'll need to figure out dinner here shortly. Could come back later with a game. I don't know. I'll have to see what's on the Xbox. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and if anyone stuck around from the raid earlier, thanks for hanging out from that too. And I will catch you all later. Have a good night.